So you guys may or may not know that I am going on vacation for 10 days. This is my first vacation in 7 years. So I haven't been anywhere basically more than a day away from my pets. And so I thought it would be a good idea to do a video on how I prepare for my pet sitter. I highly recommend that if you are ever gone for more than one night, you get somebody to come in and check on your pets. I do not think it's appropriate to just leave an abundance of food and put multiple water bottles in for your hamsters and then just go for a couple of days, because that is a long enough period for something to go wrong and you come home and not be able to fix it soon enough can really severely affect them. For example, if your hamster's water bottle on the second night all of a sudden just unloosens and leaks all of the water out, your hamster's going to be living in damp conditions for however long until you get back, and they're also not going to have water. If somebody is coming in and checking on them, they're going to be able to notice that. They can go ahead and change out the bedding right away, as well as give them fresh water so that they don't become dehydrated. The person that is coming and taking care of my pets and staying at my house has been a longtime friend. She has interacted with all of my pets. She watches a lot of my videos, so she actually understands all of my pets' care. She's actually the reason that I ended up with Sadie. So to start out, I'm going to be typing out little paragraphs about each pet. I'm going to put down their birthday, their name, their age, all that type of things, any little notes to add about the pets. I'm also going to be adding in any things to look for if they're doing a certain thing, what to do. I'm going to make sure to include my main veterinary clinic as well as the emergency vet clinic's number in case any emergency happens and she has to take them to the vet. I'm also going to go over things that she's going to have to do day to day for each of the pets. I'm also going to make things extremely easy. Anything that's really not a necessary, I'm not going to make her do. For example, I'm not going to get her to free roam the hamsters at all. They're not going to die without being free roamed, and it just makes it a lot easier on her part, and it is a lot safer for the hamsters. Then there's no way of them getting injured or hurt or something going wrong if she's not doing that. So let's get started with typing up my paragraphs about the pets. I'm also going to type up stuff about how my house works, like how to turn the TV on or how to use the dryer and washer, because those are important things when someone is staying in your house. One of the first things I did was go and get more cat supplements and food to ensure we were stocked up. I use the Naturals turkey and beef cat food, which is a raw food. Therefore, my freezer is 99% of the time just filled with cat food. Next, I'm taking the label maker I got my mom for Christmas and labeling any containers so there's less confusion and she'll know exactly what is what. Even if it seems obvious what's inside of a container, a label never hurt anyone. Then these are the care sheets I wrote up. I went ahead and printed them out so they have pictures of all of the pets and all of their care instructions, which I already went over with her in person, but just in case she forgets, it's all conveniently in here. These will be placed in their corresponding areas. I also went ahead and moved the cat's plates so that it's just easier for her to reach and access, and of course, I'm adding a little label there for her. Then I printed off the general information about my household, and I'm putting that on the fridge as well as the phone numbers to all of my vets, including the emergency vet. Next, I'm clipping the cat's and rabbit's nails. This just makes sure everyone is good to go and no one is going to get scratched or their nails get caught on anything. As you can see, Sadie is an absolute breeze when it comes to nail clipping because as a kitten, I would touch and clip her nails very often. Whereas JJ, on the other hand, hates his paws touched because he was never accustomed to them being touched. Moving on to the rabbits, first up we have Lola, which if you didn't notice has gotten so good with being lifted and held during nail clippings. Finally, after 7 years of having her, she's finally making it easier on me. Her nails don't need to be clipped too much since the vet cut them nice and short the last time she was there. Next up is Cleo. I'm just brushing out her fur to make sure she doesn't have any mats. And then her nails are also much longer than Lola's, so they definitely need to be clipped. Thankfully, she's pretty good with me clipping them, but it would be so much easier if I had someone who could hold her while I clip the nails. So if any of you out there are lucky enough to have that kind of help, I am super envious of you. I'm also just filling up the hamster food container so that there's plenty of food for the next 10 days. I decided to make things even easier for my pet sitter by placing an IKEA storage container right beside the rabbit's litter box and filling it up with clean litter. That way she doesn't have to lift anything. I'm also adding in a garbage can, so if she wants to throw any hay or poop in there, it just makes it more convenient. Here I'm just cleaning out both of my vacuums, including this disgusting filter, which I sort of forgot that you're supposed to do, so make sure you clean your filters. Having the vacuums extra clean just ensures they're gonna work as accordingly. Next, it's time to meal prep for the rabbits. I'm taking all of their veggies, romaine lettuce, red and green leaf lettuce, and cilantro, and I'm first giving it all a good wash. Then I move on to drying all of the veggies, which is one of my least favorite things. They trap so much water and everything gets so wet. As you can see, I'm using a literal bath towel and it was sopping wet after that. Then I chop it all up and create a giant veg pile. I'm adding my cilantro and I'm mixing it all up, and then we pack it into my veggie containers. For my non-veggie containers, I just add a piece of paper towel to the bottom. The last thing I'm doing is spot cleaning the hamster cages. Mabel is finally ready to go back into her normal cage as she's been in a hospital cage receiving medicine for her inner ear infection for the last couple of weeks. So I'm cleaning out her nest since it's got a lot of pee in there still. I'm using Carefresh today, which I don't usually use because it tends to be a little bit more expensive than other brands, but that is all the pet store had when I went to go buy bedding. Mabel is so much happier in her normal enclosure. I was trying my best to keep her entertained while in her hospital cage, but it isn't the same. I'm doing the same thing for Dipper. I'm cleaning out his nest area, which has a lot of stinky peed on bedding. I actually really like using white paper bedding in their nest area because you can see pee way easier than you can on brown paper bedding. Now for Waddles, we are just replacing his sand bath with new sand since he pees in it and I want him to be able to have a fresh sand bath for when I'm away. I'm also adding in some new sprays and I'm cleaning his wheel because that is his main pee area. And that is essentially everything I've done to prepare for my pet sitter, so I hope this video has been able to help you if you're also planning to go on vacation soon. Thanks for watching. Bye!